Welcome back, everyone, to Fury the Outlands, where a bunch of people from around the United States and one gay Australian play Dungeons and Dragons.
Hi.
We play Dungeons and Dragons.
We actually have
That's where the spiders come from.
we actually have the gay Australian this time. I'm your humble dungeon master, Dan. I am a theater freak and a tabletop RPG geek, and yeah, no, this time we acquired a Australian and we're missing our Florida gal. Damn. Okay, so let's just kind of dive right into this because weather here in California is starting to get stormy and Angel has bad internet. So we're not doing the plugins, we're just going to go straight into a mini recap. So after the defeat of Avis Zandiri and the resurrection of Arakion, okay, for a second I thought my screen froze. Jesus Christ. After the defeat of Avis Zandiri and the resurrection of Arakion, the party actually had a chance to quickly take a bit of a breather, in which most of them make their way to the Main and Mighty Tavern to get drunk. Bigby reunited with 3 of his cousins who pulled the 3 kobolds in a trench coat trope. They had some conversations, kind of kobold gossip, and a little bit of insight on the kobold culture within the Outlands. Jesus Christ, kobold culture. Try saying that 3 times fast, or 5 times, whatever the fuck it is.
Kobold culture, kobold culture, kobold culture.
Yeah, you already had to roll the second. Fuck off. Okay,
Damn.
Arakion probably was the one that got the most drunk, and kind of took a nap for the rest of the day. The rest of the party kind of traversed around the marketplace a little bit, while the 3 kobolds, well, actually 4 with Bigby, did a little bit of shopping. The kobold cousins said their farewell, and eventually the party made their way back to the Lion's Den, in which they were told that the leader of the coalition, Onyx the Blood Knight, was going to be making his way into Ka Leona by tomorrow to discuss some form of alliance negotiations with Elwyn Murdoch, who is now the leader of the Lions of the Sands. After which, the party then took a long rest, in which both Bigby and Yuri had strange, dreamlike visions, in which some fun stuff happened, and some not some fun stuff. Bigby was greeted by some sort of silhouetted figure, in which they conversed. The figure offered Bigby a deal of some sort, which Bigby refused. Yuri finally managed to break through his occasional audio dreams and visions of some sort of altercation, in which he discovered that they were visions of his father, Dmitry Volkanov, fighting some... Sorry, my dad's trying to make sure the Tyvek doesn't fly off the roof. Anyway, he saw his father, Dmitry Volkanov, and some human woman in the middle of some sort of fight altercation. And in trying to break through even further to try and connect with his father, something happened with Yuri, in which, well, we'll see how that goes. But as of right now, for one, you all get a long rest.
Yippee.
Oh, thank fuck. That's goddamn.
I mean, yeah, at the very least for you, Arakion, depending on how things went last session, I would have given you a short rest. But, at this point, because it is now the next day, you all get a long rest, which, honestly, that only really matters for Arakion.
Yeah, man, I got my ass tossed.
Yeah, you more than that.
In a circle. Sorry.
You guys all wake up. You guys all wake up in your room within the lion's den. Excuse me. Sorry, I just recently had dinner, so I'm just kind of burping like crazy. So, as of right now, wow. Okay. So, as of right now, I'd say it's close to. I'd say it's close to mid-morning at this point, as most of you are waking up. You do hear that there is a bunch of conversation and activity going on until, going on. It doesn't sound like there's much of, altercation, but from what you can tell, there's a lot of movement and conversation kind of going around throughout the den itself.
And you said I woke up to this?
At this point, everyone is. Rakion, I'd say you're probably the first two after sleeping for part of the afternoon and the rest of the night, and throughout the night as well. Rakion, you for sure have a huge motherfucking headache after being drunk.
Yeah. But I got the long rest, so therefore I'm healthy.
Yeah. Yeah, you get the long rest. Huh?
I ate a sensu bean.
You don't have sensu beans. Nice try. But yeah, as you guys wake up and you guys kind of open the door, see what's going on. You see that a lot of the movement kind of going around is more kind of like tidying everything up. You see there are a few people that are getting the sort of large table out that you guys had dinner at. You see that there are some people that are trying to not necessarily clean the various bloodstains on the floor of the Great Hall, but at the very least trying to make sure that it's kind of more out of the way than anything else. You see basically everyone's going around and getting everything ready for the negotiations that are about to occur in this day. But yeah, what would you guys like to do?
How long do we have before Onyx gets here? Or would we not know?
You don't necessarily know 100%. You were just told that he would be here. He would just be here today, but there wasn't really any indication as to when exactly he would be showing up. I mean, it is the Outlands. Not a lot of people really keep track of time.
Fair point. I can't really think of anything in particular I'd want to do.
Alright, Rakion, what about you? Shit, did we lose him already?
No, Angel.
Hello?
Nope.
There
Hey,
he
we got
is.
you back.
Alright, now, what? I first, like, everybody went silent for a good bit.
Oh, you had that happen to you too. So, as of right now, you're just basically kind of seeing everyone within the Lions just kind of get ready for the eventual negotiations with Onyx that are happening sometime today. Is there anything that Arakian would like to do at the moment?
Onyx, like, as in, like, the Blood Knight.
Yeah, as in the Blood Knight.
Honestly, I'd probably look at, is Sharice there?
Give me a perception check.
Might go Charisse.
Damn it.
Um,
All of his luck was spent.
well, no, you gained a long rest, remember?
Oh, no, like, I don't mean, like, luck points, I mean just luck in general. Like, that's
Yeah.
why I rolled, like, an 11.
Yeah, no, even with that low roll, you do hear Sharice's voice being the one that's giving the most direction, and after a little bit, you do see that she's kind of more closer to the door out. She's kind of closer more to the door than she is anywhere else, but she is kind of directing most of the people in here in terms of trying to get everything set.
Okay, so I'm gonna go over to Matt, and he's gonna ask, what's going on here?
Yeah. Oh, Rakion. Well, first off, how are you feeling? You kind of, it is kind of just like, okay, let's be honest. How big of a headache do you have right now?
Quite the big one.
Yeah, no, that's
It's hard being
not...
out here, even with the with all these lights.
Yeah, no, that kind of makes sense. It looked like you were really, you were definitely drunk, yesterday. Anyway, what's happening... So, I know I told you, but like I said, you were kind of a little drunk, but, Onyx is on his way here today, and Elwyn wanted to make sure that things were set up for the conversations, negotiation thing, that whatever you want to call it, but just kind of getting things set up as quickly as we can before Onyx actually shows up.
Okay. Well, whenever he gets here, let me know. I'm gonna go get my gear.
Yeah, no worries.
And he sort of just hobbles away because his body still hurts from the shit. So he's just slowly like waddling his way over.
Yeah. So you're just basically going back to your room to get your gear?
Yeah.
Alright. Kristalina, is there anything you're doing this morning?
Probably just walking around thinking.
Yeah. No, you're kind of walking around. You're watching Charisse kind of give direction. after a little bit, you see the catfolk Nightclaw coming out and kind of helping out with everything. I will say, at the moment, none of you guys see Elwyn in this whole situation. Like you see Nightclaw, you see Charisse, but yeah, no, you don't see where Elwyn might have gone off to at the moment. Kristalina, I'd say also kind of throughout this whole situation, you've seen the sort of change in Arakion, albeit it probably took you a while to kind of realize that he's maybe a little less angry than he used to be, but hey, at least he's not angry.
Can I walk up to him?
Yeah, for sure.
I walk up to him.
Yeah, as Arakion's kind of making his way over to back to the room to grab his things. Yeah, Kristalina, you make your way up to him.
Hey. Can I just say hi? Say a few words?
You got taken aback a little bit, but he says, "Go ahead."
I know that I'm, like, the new person here and that you don't necessarily trust me and that I was really weird when I tried to hug you that day. To be honest, I'm really sorry about that. I guess I was just really nervous and I did something I wasn't supposed to, but I wanted to thank you for letting me stay anyway, and I guess just ask how you're doing after everything that's happened.
I'm doing quite fine, actually. After everything that's happened, I felt like a piece of me was put back together.
I'm really
And I
glad to
do
hear
also
that.
want to say it again. Sorry.
I'm really glad to hear that. I've noticed a little bit of a change, for sure.
Yeah. And I also apologize for how I did act back then. I was never
Well,
like this.
Well, I'm not making excuses for you, but I mean, you've been through a lot, so I mean, I kind of get it. I understand as to why, at least, is what I'm trying to say. I think it's important to understand the why. Some people think it's unnecessary, but if you don't understand why, then how do you learn to understand people? To get to know them better. To try and become friends. That's the way you bring the world and people together, after all, is when you work together. If you don't understand where people are coming from, then it's a lot harder.
Indeed. But I'll try harder.
And I'll try not to be as annoying. Although, if you ever do feel like giving me a hug, I'm always open.
Not happening.
Okay.
And he sort of he cracks like a little. He cracks a slight smile, and then he turns back to going back to his hut.
That went well. Kristalina says that out loud. Then lets out a huge sigh of relief and continues walking.
Anything else you'd like to do at the moment, Crystalina?
Not particularly.
Alright. Icarus, what about you?
He's just chilling with Nugget.
Yeah, at this point, I'd say everyone in the Lions has just let you have Nugget inside the Lion's Den because they don't want another hole in the wall leading outside. So at this point, Elwyn's was just like, yeah, no, he can have his horse inside. But yeah, no, you're just kind of watching everything here, kind of Nugget right by your side. Occasionally thinking of your last conversation with your patron, and for one, how somewhat vague it kind of was 100%, but at the very least on how the fuck, like more along lines of, alright, so where the fuck am I really supposed to go now? But you're also just kind of watching this, for lack of better words, in Icarus's mind at the very least, this band of idiots just kind of going around doing their own thing.
I love idiots.
Like, in your head, you're just thinking about them and just, like, calling them band of idiots in your head, and just after a bit, it's like, I love idiots. And then it's just like, wait, does that mean I actually like these guys?
No.
Nah, no, it couldn't be. But, alright. But yeah, so yeah, eventually time goes on, and you all hear the sound of what you assume to be a war horn go off in the distance. Eventually, Charisse goes off into another part of the den, most likely to find Elwyn. And you see a soldier come to the Lion's Den, go over to Nightclaw and goes, so, Master Nightclaw, the Blood Knight of the Wyvernax is here, and he's requesting... Before the guard can finish, Nightclaw's like, yes, we know. You can let him in. The guard just kind of looks confused for a second, then just kind of goes off, and, like, maybe... you guys wait for, like, maybe another 10-15 minutes or so, and you watch as the Black Draconry start to make its way into the Lion's Den. A small band of other people are kind of with him as well at this point. No one you all immediately recognize, though. And whether it was from your dealings with the Coalition in the past, or with the occasional introductions you've had with Onyx, these definitely look like they're people you haven't met before, which means either the Coalition was bigger than you thought, or these are new recruits. You're not entirely sure, but eventually Onyx makes his way inside. Elwyn is kind of waiting for him at the center, kind of close towards the entrance. And Elwyn kind of approaches and goes, Sir Onyx, I appreciate you coming here with such haste, and may I be the first to welcome you to Caliona. Onyx gives a little bit of a bow at this and goes, Why, Lord Elrin, I do believe if it is I who must be thankful for your communication as well, and might I also say that some congratulations are in order, I do believe, as your title of bandlord for this clan is fairly new, is it not? Elwyn kind of nods and is like, yes, fairly recent. Would you care to discuss things now, or do you wish for you and your entourage to settle in before we start anything serious? Onyx just kind of looks to his small band of people and goes, now, I do believe that there's some need of respite. We did travel quite a ways in haste as soon as we heard word of your desire to seek some form of an alliance. And as you can tell, some of us are quite exhausted. Elwyn just kind of nods and goes, of course, we have a room set up for you and your group. Nightclaw here can direct you towards it. Nightclaw just kind of gives a bit of a silent nod. Onyx looks to Elwyn and is like, I do appreciate your kindness and your hospitality. Shall we reconvene here in, say, half an hour? Half an hour sounds fine, Sir Onyx. Nightclaw kind of then directs Onyx's troop to another part of the wing, another part of the den, and before Onyx comes to follow, he looks to you, Rakion, in your group and goes, before we do end up in any discussions between the Alliance and the Coalition, I would like a word in private with you and your little group, if it'd be alright with you, Rakion.
Hello?
Yep, I can hear you now.
Alright, would you mind repeating that? Sorry.
Onyx was just kind of looking at you and is like, now, before I get into any conversations with the bandlord, I would like to have a moment in private to just talk with you and your little party, if you wouldn't mind, Rakion.
That's not all up to me for me to decide. If everybody else here is willing to, then I'll go along with it as well.
Very well. He just kind of walks off at that point.
So, gang.
I'm down. I see no downside to just talking to him.
Others?
Talking's fine, and if it goes wrong, I can just kill him.
Miss Crystalina? I say that right? How about you?
I'm lost in context. I didn't quite hear what you guys were talking about.
Onyx wants to have a conversation with us, and Rikion asked if you would want to do that as well.
Okay. Yeah. You said that, right?
Alright, and I guess Bigby would go along with it as well. So, yeah.
Bigby just kind of shrugs and it's like, I mean, as long as he doesn't try anything, I don't see any harm in talking.
Alright. and I will let him know.
Yeah. Now, you guys follow the direction in where Nightclaw took Onyx and his party and whatnot, and you see Nightclaw passing, but he doesn't say anything. The door at the moment is open, and you do see Onyx and his troop, which is about 3 others, kind of setting up. You see Onyx just kind of immediately catches sight of you guys, and he goes, "Might want to close the door as you all come in." So yeah, you guys close the door and whatnot. At this point, Onyx's 3 compatriots are kind of in the middle of kind of unpacking stuff in the moment, and Onyx himself just basically has a bag kind of set off on the side of a bed and whatnot, but you don't see him sitting on it or anything. He's just kind of standing, leaning against the wall as he's conversing with you, and he's like, "Firstly, along with congratulations for our new bandlord, I do believe that there are some congratulations that are in order for you and your little group here, in terms of advancing alliances with the coalition."
I'm not the bandlord.
I know, which honestly would have been the better option here, but the idea that the new bandlord here is at the very least someone who is willing to consider what we have to offer. It's a step in the right direction. Gods only know we wouldn't be able to actually convince Avis Zandari of our interests.
What exactly are your interests?
Onyx kind of turns to you, Crystalina, and goes, "Primarily, my interest is to see the Outlands here unified more so than what our strong clans here are able to provide. For these lands once used to be an actual nation until it was divided by mistrust and uprising. I just simply wish to see, well, let's say I simply wish to see it return to some form of its former glory. Maybe not necessarily in a empirical structure, but at the very least return itself to being something more than just a ravenous wasteland as it currently is."
I don't say anything and just turn to the others.
I mean, hell, that's what we were pretty much here for, so this will be an easier addition.
Quite so. Now, I will say that there was some other possible conversation had that our dear clerics mentioned, not necessarily of particular interest in this case, but definitely something that sort of caught my attention, albeit she kept it rather vague. She mentioned something about the possibility of the Red Line having a connection with Tiamat, I believe.
Yeah. Good thing we nipped that one in the bud.
Very much so, but I am curious. How did y'all come to the assumption that Avis himself was in some form of worship to the Dragon Mother?
Well, to put a long story short, he was quote-unquote kidnapped in the middle of the night, I think literally last night or the night before. We tried to follow the trail. It led us down into a secret room which had maps and a lot of stuff concerning Tiamat. We found a literal coin which Nightclaw himself had. And we put 2 and 2 together, and that's where we found what's this? Out of character. I'm blanking on his name. Elwyn. Never mind. Elwyn, along with Avis himself, who was not even kidnapped at all. Which led to me challenging him to fight. I came close to killing him, and Avis got the Elwyn got the final blow.
I see. I will admit, that is a rather interesting turn of events, and Sharice did mention that she had some form of suspicion on Avis ever since the rumors of the Closet Tiamat rumors started to resurface once more, but she could never really confirm anything herself. And with this development, it definitely shows that some people are in more belief of that so-called prophecy than anything else. With that said, I am curious to know, now that your business is done here in Caliona, where exactly do you and your little ragtag team plan on adventuring to next?
That's up to my party. I'm done here pretty much, so it's their choice.
Kristalina goes instant mini panic mode as she knows nothing about this world. It's like, is anyone else gonna speak?
Icarus isn't saying shit. He's not telling a random fucking person their plans of movement.
No, that's fair. Why does this person need to know?
Exactly.
Very fair.
Onyx
There's probably a
shaking.
delay on my end. That's why it took probably why it took so long to answer.
Yeah. Onyx just kind of looks at the rest of you and is like, well, I will say that as of right now, if you wish to continue your efforts in gaining alliances within the coalition, there are a few other factions out here that might be of interest at this point.
I forget, we gotta go to other clans.
Yes,
A
this
couple
whole
of
thing.
clans that won't align with us.
Yes. If I recall, this did all start with the possibility of trying to align with the Night Heralds, which may or may not be more easier at this point, but that's entirely up to that's all entirely up to Lady Alicia, but the other options that might be of interest to you is either the Mocked Militia, or perhaps even the Iron Marauders, as their ties to the events in the Outlands may not entirely be as aggressive as, say, the Wyvernaks or even the Reavers. Gods know that the militia tend to keep to themselves, but you might be in a better position now that you have stronger ties to the Lions now than you did before this whole quest began.
Yeah. I'm struggling to get the words out.
Take your time.
I do know that there is one other thing that I need to do before we actually start another adventure to another place. I did tell Alessia that we would let her know about Liza and the before revealed spell tech raider. So I will need to inform her on that information before we can start anywhere else.
I understand. And thankfully, and thankfully for you, I have no objections to the matter at the moment, as unfortunately I don't quite have any true connections to the militia or the marauders, though I am hoping to rectify that as much as possible. The only other clan I will say... The only other clan I'd say that I'm curious about the understandings in this matter would most likely be the Sisters of the Flame.
Oh yeah, they don't fully know about it. Which, where's Tracy? He actually looks to Yuri and the others real quick.
Yeah, you guys look around. Yeah, you guys look around. She's gone, which you're not entirely surprised about.
Fucking god.
Oh.
Well,
great.
That could, well, Onyx, that would be actually quite easy to do if we had the one person who is from there with us. Wherever she could be, I'm pretty sure that we'd be able to make that get arranged quite, easily. Honestly, it's the Marked Militia and the Wyvern. Have we got the Wyvernaks on our side? I can't remember. Out of character.
As of right now, you do not, but the two that Onyx mentioned was either the Marked Militia or the Iron Marauders.
Oh yeah, the fucking Marauders. Yeah, so we'll go to one of those, but the Sisters of the Flame, it's most likely going to be a yes, due to us having quite the connection.
Well, I do look forward to the eventual confirmation of that, but in the meantime, I'd say at the very least you don't have to start this whole process immediately if you do not wish. I know you have your own final resolutions with the Night Heralds to take care of, and no, this may not necessarily matter, but I do encourage having that done above all else.
Okay. Well then, when should be the next time we meet?
Why is it
when I just think of that, you frankly that.
Next time we meet may be a bit more lengthy than our last few interactions, as I currently am still in the midst of trying to... I'd most likely be spending quite a bit discussing the full negotiations with Bandlord here at the Lines, and I do have another conversation to have with a very particular Yuan-Ti who seems to know a lot more than anyone would give him credit for. Do any of you happen to know, or at the very least be familiar with the Yuan-Ti by the name of Amos Crowley?
Add a character. What's a UNT?
Snake person.
Oh, I don't recall. I don't know the snake person. At least that's my faint memory.
Yeah, no. You guys have had... Some of you have had occasional interactions with him, but the last time any of you guys saw Crowley was back in like Sisters of the Flame territory before the whole Onyx thing even really kicked off.
I'm having faint memories of it.
Yeah, no, it was a long time ago for sure.
Yuri will chime in and be like, we've met. We're not like, I mean, I would say we're not really close with Amos, but we're familiar with him.
Well, he is one of the few that is a part of my little band here at the moment, albeit he is waiting outside the gates of the stronghold instead of being here with everyone here. I thought it wise not to bring my entire group inside the walls with me. Otherwise, some people might think it's more of a hostile takeover than a negotiation, if you understand.
Fair point.
Amos himself is a rather elusive sort for one. Gods above know that he's one of the more harder informants in the Outlands to find than anything, but his information on things are fairly strong and fairly up to date. I'll say that he probably has some forms of information in regards to interactions throughout some of the other clans, if you would like to wish to converse with him before leaving Corleone.
We just might. If we happen to need info.
Indeed. As much as we can prepare ourselves for these newer places, it'd be good to have some insight.
That's right. I don't believe you're quite familiar with the territories of the Marauders or the militia, are you, Rakion?
I've spent the better part of a good 3 years avoiding them since my fallout with the Lions.
Well, the militia at the very least tend to keep to themselves. They are usually a conglomeration of... They're more of a conglomeration than an actual raider clan, but considering how many people have actually fallen into their ranks, that at this point they're considered strong enough to at least be considered a raider clan. Now, marauders themselves, I've had some dealings with in the past, but I will say that one of their soldiers is, at the very least, a formidable opponent when it comes to matters of the sword.
Hello?
Yeah, okay, I can... Okay, I know Margaret's muted, but I can't hear
Alright,
Carlo.
there you guys are.
No.
Carlo, can you hear me?
Huh?
Okay,
Sorry.
so you're
Can you
just
hear
digging
me?
around. Okay.
Sorry, I was distracted. What's...
For a second there, I thought I actually, like... Okay.
Yeah, I know
Sorry,
Wire's muted.
repeat that.
So,
I'm sorry, I have to let you repeat everything.
yeah, if I can
thing
remember,
is just
kind of lagging out, yeah.
trying to keep up.
Onyx is like, now, the Iron Marauders themselves, I've had some small dealings with in the past, most of which was with one of their more higher-end soldiers, fairly formidable opponent when it comes to matters of the blade. If you do end up making your way towards their territory, I don't believe he should be that hard to find.
Oh yeah. Alright. We'll keep an eye out.
Yeah. The only thing I will say about him is that he is a more outspoken person when it comes to forms of religious beliefs. Not entirely sure if he's an actual holy person himself, but I will say he does tend to preach a lot about the First Light, which is fairly strange in its own right.
Yeah. It'll be odd navigating that sort of unknown place for me, at least.
Yes. Now, I will say, I'm trying to remember the name of this fella, but I haven't interacted with him in quite a time. I do believe it was... Actually, I'll admit, I'll actually admit, I don't believe I actually caught his actual name to begin with. But...
Describe him?
He's definitely someone of a taller sort. Sort of bronzish skin, if I remember correctly. Kind of golden eyes. Don't quite remember what his hair was. Most of the times we interacted, he was wearing a helm of some sort. But I do believe one of his nicknames here in the Outlands would happen to be the Bright Star.
Bright Star. What color eyes you said you had?
Golden.
It can't be. No. Okay, out of character. Is he describing Horace?
I'm
I could be getting this wrong.
Yeah,
very much wrong. But like
I'd say give me a history check.
Okay. Ooh, dirty 20.
Nice.
Dirty 20. So you actually know, like, not like personally, but you do know who he's talking about. The Bright Star is one, not necessarily from what last you remember, but the Bright Star is definitely one of the more well-known soldiers within the Iron Marauders. He's not talking about Taurus, but from what you can tell, because Taurus didn't have golden eyes from what you could remember, but weirdly enough, you do remember some conversations had, like, in terms of describing, like, in terms of people describing the Bright Star. You do kind of remember them saying, kind of describing this person's armor. Oh, and it looked fairly similar, like, from what you remember them describing, it did look similar to what Taurus's armor was, but you don't think it actually is Taurus.
Okay. But I'm guessing this is also a person that is located within that area.
The Bright Star is a member of the Iron Marauders, so from where you currently are, you're most likely going to be able to find him somewhere east, kind of closer to closer to their clan territory.
Honestly, because we have out of character, now that we have kind of two people that can help us out in that in Iron Marauder territory, I'd say that after we deal with the Flame Sisters and the Night Heralds, we should probably go there, considering we have another person who can also help us navigate that sort of,
Yeah, that makes sense.
With
the last part, the last place we need to go to would be Militia. We don't have any intel there.
True.
So we did play it.
Yeah, with that, Onyx just kind of looks to the rest of his party, who is all kind of set up for the most part, and it's like, now, I would like to converse with y'all some more and all this, but I do believe I have other negotiations to get about to, so I will bid you all the best of luck in your travels and whatnot, and we shall see each other another time.
Adios, Onyx.
Fair travels. With that, he opens the door, lets you guys out first, and then him and his entourage kind of follow suit, closing the door behind them and making their way out to the hall.
Hey, boy.
Damn it.
I actually have a question I want to ask the party. I'm gonna ask everybody. So far, what do we think of him?
He is extremely shifty.
I don't know, man. He gave me weird vibes.
Yeah.
His message seems cool, but if there's anything that I've learned from
I mean, I like the idea.
messages and ideas is that sometimes there's other intentions behind it that we can't see. So I definitely think we should think about it, maybe.
I'm personally on the fence.
Why?
I mean, on one hand, I can see how he can be shifty, and he does give me those vibes. But if he really were up to something, I'm pretty sure he would wanted to to be executed fast, or at least somewhat in a moderate pace. He's allowing us to do whatever we want to before we actually get into these newer places, and to, you know, have it happen so fast like he would want, if I'm saying that correctly.
That's fair. I mean, I guess he would have set up like strict rules and like and try to control us if he wanted something. Yeah.
I mean, but he's allowing us some room to actually do whatever we want to. We could spend, I'm pretty sure, a few months considering what, like, we can, if we chose to, we can spend months dealing with what we need to, and then we can just go back to what he is doing. Like, I mean, he's allowing us time to do whatever we want.
That's facts.
How would you know that is the truth, though?
That's a fair point.
How would you know that is what he would do?
I don't know for sure. That's why I'm saying that. That's why I'm saying I'm on the fence. I mean, I do believe that he could be up to something. I don't trust him fully.
Yeah.
But then again, there's some room there for it to be otherwise.
Yeah. There's a non-zero chance that what Onyx is like trying to achieve is like there's non-zero chance that he's being like completely upfront and honest. But my thing is,
there's a chance.
Yeah. But at the same time, it's like, how much, you know, does his overall plan, like, rely on us? You know what I'm saying? Like, if we, like, fucked up, or if we never did the thing he told us to do, like, does he still have alternative means to get to his goal? Because that's what I'm feeling like.
Then again, this goal could end up being the worst thing that could ever happen. Like, whatever he's thinking could potentially have worse consequences than even the Outlands. There's a high chance for that, but there is a separate chance that that thing that he actually does, uniting the Outlands into one country. Think of all the, you know, the thing that could help this place. Keep it from being such a dangerous place for a lot of people who live here. I mean, think of things like Yuri's family. His family lives in a horrible place where people can be savages. I mean, I was no different from one of them, and I still am not different from one of them. But, I mean, at least this has a chance of being something that can help everyone. But I still agree that there is a higher chance of this being complete shit.
So then, like, what do we feel like? Because it feels like he's still holding, like, at least one card that we don't know. So it's like, I don't know, bro. I'm just, like, weary about, like, working for him or doing anything he says. But I do agree
I feel that.
Yeah. I do agree, though, about what you said, like, 100%. My family could be safer if this was a united country. I'm just, like, I don't know. I guess it just, like, transfers to the plan of action then, you know?
My question is, what
Honestly,
made him
no.
decide to do this?
True. That's a good ass question.
I can ask him that.
Do we think, like...
Whenever Nick and I get into a conversation on our own, I'll pop a question to him. At least he seems to trust me a lot. He person. So if I were to ask, it wouldn't be much of a step.
That's fair.
And whatever he says will determine our.
So are we fucking with Onyx for now, and then if shit gets bad, we just pull the plug?
Honestly, yes, that's another thing I was gonna say. If things do hit the fan, I know Onyx is he is a renowned fighter, so he is gonna be a tough person to bring down. But I do believe with the numbers that we do have and the skilled people on our team, we can possibly take him down. So if things do go wrong, we can most likely handle it, especially if we partner ourselves up with, you know, the allying clans. I mean, the whole Sisters of the Flame is behind us. At least, you know, our group and our cause, not Onyx's.
Yeah. As you guys are
So
saying
we have
this,
a whole army of them.
Yeah. As you guys are saying this, you kind of hear a voice off to the corner be like, "You guys shit talking Onyx?" And just as you turn, you see Rogue off to the side.
Hi, Yuffie. No, he doesn't say that. He says, now where the hell... Damn. Now where the hell were you at the whole time?
Recon. What do you think? You think I just let Onyx and his group show up here and I wouldn't look into the various shit he's doing?
Yeah.
Indeed. So, we have a thing to tell you.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna ask him a question. A very important question that can determine if we can trust him fully or not. It's gonna be a question about... it's a question that is, what's it... I already forgot it. Someone fucking refresh my... Please somebody refresh my memory.
I forgot to.
Why
Oh
he
my
decided
God.
to do this.
Thank you.
Yes, we're gonna ask him. Yeah, why is he? Why? What made you want to do this in the first place? If there's an thing there, if there's an authentic reason there, or if I can tell that he not fully trying to answer it, or if he's trying to judge it, or if the answer is just overall, that will decide if we actually will ride along with it. If not, we will refuse. Take him down if need be.
Wow, that kind of progressed. Not entirely what I was expecting, but you know what? Hey, that works. I will say that he does have a lot more people outside of the walls of Caliona than just the 3 that he let in here. Granted, it's not a lot. There's like maybe... I don't know. Maybe a good 20 other raiders outside of the door. Not to mention, I saw that snake guy, Crowley. He was hanging around there as well. I don't know why. Last I checked... Well, actually, to be fair, I haven't really checked in, because last time I heard, Crowley was back at... back in the sister territory, but then again, the guy travels in and out of places faster than I sneak.
Which is saying something.
Yeah. But yeah, no, there's like a good 20 or so raiders outside of Caliona. Not including the 3 that are in here. Sounds like Onyx is in the middle of conversation with Elwyn right now.
But the main reason I want to do this is because if, like, I don't want things to hit the fan, and I really want to make sure if he is doing this, because I don't want to just offer up any territories or anything up to him just willy-nilly. I want to make sure that this is real.
No, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, I will say that considering that he's been this, I mean, this dedicated to this whole cause and whatnot, and the fact that he isn't just, well, as far as I can tell, isn't just straight up isn't straight up demanding for people to join him. It's definitely been more volunteer stuff than anything. And I mean, from what I've heard from like Charisse or like that angel guy from the Night Heralds, he's definitely building a following for sure, and like it doesn't seem like people feel as if they're being like tricked or discouraged. And I will say that is the weird part, because I mean, like we've said before, he's like a renowned swordsman. He's one of the most well-known lieutenants in the Wyvernax. I mean, granted, his story is definitely one that would make any, like, maybe make any Tyrion like shed a tear or something and whatnot, but I mean, I don't know. I'm starting to think that this guy might actually be a little bit more sincere than we initially thought.
Honestly, I already told the rest of them. I had that feeling as well, but I also have a nice, strong feeling that this could turn out to be terrible.
I get that, Raken.
But
I really
do
but
definitely see that there is possible, like, yeah, this could genuinely be something worth fighting for. But that's why I have to really make sure.
I mean, I might be able to dig up some old contacts in the Wyvernax and maybe get a better detail on him. Granted, I'll have to cash in some favors for that, but I mean, if we can get more information about him straight from where he resides and whatnot, then I mean, that would at least give us some form of a leg up, albeit it's still a bit of a long shot and whatnot, because, well, yeah, I mean, it's me. Let's be honest, most of my contacts are still going to be sketchy at best. Though, I mean, honestly, the best person with information would most likely be Crowley.
Well, whatever information you can get, that will be perfect. Pull any sort of sources we can, along with me talking personally.
Yeah,
It'll give us.
Yeah. I mean, the only problem is that. Yeah, the only catch is that I might need to meet with some of these contacts personally, which might pull me out from you guys for a bit, but I mean, so long as it's getting information, I'm fairly certain I can get a hold of you guys quicker than anything.
Well, it sounds like we're good here for a few days.
Yeah, alright, I can at the very least try and reach out to the contacts, see if they're going to be able to meet up somewhere. I don't know, maybe I'll be able to head out to Talon, see if that place has finally calmed down after the whole scuttle with...
Oh, yeah.
The scuttle with the... with that dragon kid. Anyway, yeah, I'll reach out to them. Though, yeah, honestly, better source of information at this point would probably be going to Crowley. Which
I'll go ask Onyx. Onyx to stay the rest of the time while we're here too, just so I can arrange it properly, kind of, I guess.
Yeah, you do you, man. Just don't get shot again.
I'll try not to. If possible, I'll shoot back.
With that, Rogue makes her way off, leaving you all in the hallway by yourselves once again.
Did she disappear in a puff of smoke?
At first, no, she's just walking out, and then you just kind of turn away and then turn back, and she's just gone.
Oh my god, she did the Batman thing. Jesus Christ.
The city needs me.
That's... And then I point at that direction, and then I check to the group and I said, "That's some bullshit."
That fully is some bullshit. She was there 2 seconds ago.
Well, we got work to do. Or, yeah, I guess I have work to do. You guys go ahead and take the load off.
So, what would you guys like to do?
Who are you gonna start with first? Go ahead. Like, who's gonna start first?
I'll go. I'll just.
All right, Yuri.
I'll just be.
I looked at the screen and I got so scared because I thought my microphone was on. I was like, oh shit, I've been interrupted. Oh, thank God it's off. Okay.
No, you've been good.
You're good.
No, you've been good.
The dance.
All right, so yeah, Yuri.
Okay. Yeah, Yuri will just be hanging out until he hears word about the conversation with Arakion and Onyx.
All right, fairly casual. You know what? Yeah, Arakion.
He's gonna go. He is going to actually head over to where Onyx is.
Yeah, you see at the moment, both Onyx and Elwyn are in the midst of conversation. You see they're sitting at opposite ends of the table that was set out. You see Sharice and Nightclaw are standing on Elwyn's sides. Onyx has his entourage of 3 kind of right behind him as well. And as you kind of make your way out, the conversations kind of stop in the middle. Stop as they kind of look towards you, and Elwyn goes, "Oh, Arakion, are you joining in on the negotiations, or?"
Sorta, but I don't mean to interrupt you all. But I need to ask a question.
Onyx kind of adjusts himself in his seat so he can turn towards you. He's like, "By all means, unless this is something you want to converse with in private. In which case, I'd say
This doesn't have to be in private. It's just a quick little question. I would ask that you stay in Paliona for a few days."
I see. Well, I do believe that these negotiations with the landlord aren't gonna take just a day, so it should be easy enough to stay for a few days longer, if that's all right with you, Lord Elwyn.
Yes.
And Elwyn just kind of looks and is like, "Yeah, no problem with us."
Alrighty. Mainly because then you'll hear from us about our plans for going forward, and mainly also, I actually did want to have a conversation with you in private, but that can wait till tomorrow. For now, I think me and are gonna take a look off.
I see. Well, I look forward to our conversation in the future.
Alrighty. Erikion will exit.
Alright. And after that, where are you going to be heading to next?
I'm assuming Bigby is with the rest of the party, so just head back to the party and do whatever they're gonna do.
Alright. Icarus, what would you like to do after that whole conversation?
No, there's not really much to do. He's just gonna wait.
Yeah. So yeah, no. You guys continue to hang out in this point. I will remind you that both Rogue and Onyx said that if you wanted any more form of information for any aspect of what you plan to do in the future, Amos Crowley is literally right outside Ka Leona, so you can just kind of head out and make your way over to there to talk with him if you'd like. But in the meantime, yeah, you guys kind of hang around for the day, kind of officially take a load off. Once it gets kind of closer to the evening, you hear that the negotiations are kind of concluded for the day. Everyone kind of makes their way out from the Grand Hall to their rooms and whatnot. And after a little bit, you guys do hear a knock on your door, and open up to see that Onyx is right outside and goes, "I apologize. Is this a better time for our private conversation you were wanting, or should I come a little bit later?"
Is this the date? This is the
Yeah, it's the same day. It's just at this point close to around the evening.
Oh, we can have it. We can have it towards like maybe early in the morning tomorrow, because tonight I'm already still quite tired and my wounds are still trying to heal.
I see. Well then, I do apologize for disturbing you, and I look forward to conversation and more.
Same here.
With that, he makes his way out. You close the door. Rogue is just like, and you hear Rogue's voice off, kind of by the window, and you're like, okay, I might believe what this guy's about, but he's still, something about that voice is weird. And yeah, you just kind of see her just kind of leaning up on the windowsill of the window in your room.
Wait, she just, oh my god.
The window is open. You don't
Honestly,
know how.
We've called her Tracy for this long, I forgot her real name.
Yeah, that's
I
fair.
forgot her real name.
Yeah. No, she just kind of eventually gets off from the window, hits the ground with a small thud, dusts her pants off, and is like, "So you guys finally have a nice relaxing day for once?"
Yes, why? No, we're on a higher floor, right?
Are you kidding me? I'm a rogue. Do you know how easy it is to climb these walls?
Well, that's your name.
Yes, exactly. And considering that this wall in particular was repaired because of that guy's force, just points over to Icarus.
Oh my god.
He just waves. He's like, "Yeah, my whole thought about it."
Oh, well. Yeah, we're take a load off for a little bit. I'm gonna have a little conversation with Onyx tomorrow. So.
Alright, fair enough. I got a hold of the sisters, at least. Thankfully nothing has been of any major issue on that end. Yeah. Then I did.
Alright then.
Yeah, I did send out word to some of my contacts in the Wyvern Axe, but knowing them, they're probably not going to respond for a couple of days at the very least, depending on if they're in a good mood or not.
Well, damn, I forget sometimes how long work it takes to travel.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you know the right people, it can go quicker. I mean, now I will say in this case, it probably will take longer. I mean, first I had to send word to Baron's Rest, and then that ends up making its way through the various scavenger trade routes at that point, maybe. I don't know. It's just, it's a long process.
Well, that gives us time. Get time, I think.
Yeah. Fair enough. Alright, well, I'm about ready to hit the sack. I don't know about the rest of you.
Well, I'll probably get something to eat first, but then I'll probably head to bed. Also, you just look out the window.
Just kind of looks and is like, oh, shit, my bad. Just kind of walks over, closes the window and is like, you know, you really think they would have better windows?
Well, I'm not sure how much better a window can be.
Well, I mean, that's
It's a
fair.
thing to get air with.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I did hear rumors once about how there are some places in Tiris where their locking mechanisms actually prevent anyone trying to break into them, and just like lets out a massive force or something like that.
Get the fuck out of here. That doesn't exist. You're lying to me.
No, I'm serious. There's this one patrol from Checkpoint that I did frequently get into contact with, and you know, I trade them some information about the Outlands. They tell me some stuff about Tiris. It's a weird fucking place, I'll say that.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, no. Do you know that half of there's the glass thing too, but also for like half of the council in Tiris actually reside in different city-states across the nation for some reason. They don't all just reside within the capital.
That's weird.
Right? Like, I mean, yeah, there are like some officials that stay within the capital, but no, like across the.
You're telling me that they all live separately?
Yeah, no. There's one that stays in the capital. There's one that stays close to the border between there and here in the Outlands. There's one that stays near the sort of the south. There's one that stays within like some sort of magic academy or something within the center of the nation, and then there's like maybe one or two up north. I don't know.
Interesting. Well, I'm glad
it sounds nice and whatnot. Like, I've heard, like kind of what the kobolds were saying, I've heard of people from the Outlands making their way to Tyrus to kind of get out of all this shit and whatnot. But honestly, I would not want to live there.
Not sure how to continue from there.
Roach just kind of looks at me and is like, you know what? Neither do I. I'm just gonna call it a night.
Same. Let me heal my wounds, please. Please.
Yeah. With that, she makes her way to bed. Is there anything else anyone would like to do before the end of the night?
No, not for me.
Nope.
Not particularly.
Okay. Icarus, what about you?
Nope.
No? Alright. Yeah. You all get sleep once more. Long rest. No one gets any weird-ass dreams for some fucking reason.
Yay, the nightmares are gone.
The voices.
Oh, I
No, there's-
don't know. No matter what I tell you guys in that world.
Yeah. Morning comes, you guys awake. As of right now, Onyx has not knocked on your door yet. So you either have a little bit of time before he may or may not come in and knock on your door, or you can just go straight to him at this point.
Honestly, he probably will, he'll wait, but he's just gonna lay in bed for a little bit, just thinking to himself.
Yeah.
So he'll just stay in bed for a bit.
Yeah, so you guys wait a little bit longer. About maybe a half hour goes by, you hear a knock on the door again. Open it up, and once again, it's Onyx.
And before he we'll get her on.
Not fair.
So Onyx, he walks in, and Rikion's gonna say, "All right, so I had a few questions regarding Coalition.
What questions might this be?
Well, curious about something. I hope this isn't like stepping too far, but I was just curious. What made you want to start this whole thing, and what made you want to go and unite the clans? Like, what was your endpoint?
You see, he kind of pauses for a little bit. Not necessarily startled by the question itself, but kind of more in kind of thought as to, kind of a quick thought, but he kind of looks to you and goes, well, that in itself is perhaps a bit of a long story, if you're willing to sit through it at least.
Go ahead.
See, much like a good bit of Draconry throughout here in the Outlands, I wasn't necessarily born in the most hospitable of situations. My father resided in a settlement a little ways a bit outside of Wapanak territory, closer to more neutral ground and whatnot. And my mother was an actual member of the Wapanak clan and whatnot. because of the fact that I wasn't much of a full Dragonborn and was a Draconry. At the time, my mother could not necessarily claim me as a son, as this was a time when the Draconry weren't necessarily as much accepted as they are now, at the very least within the Wyvernax. And because of this, we didn't necessarily have the most stable of livings. I had to learn myself how to survive, as quite a bit ways into my childhood, my father left on his own. Wasn't entirely sure where he went off to. So I spent the remainder of my younger and some of my early adult years trying to learn on my own how to survive, and as I got older I realized how much I truly hated it, how much I realized that the way that things are living at this moment aren't necessarily what was supposed to be for what a nation once was here in these lands. Eventually, once I was able to somewhat handle the blade, I made my way close to Wyvernax territory, and quite literally beat and slash and brutalize my way to where I am now. In fact, I will say this with some pride that I'm one of the reasons why the Wyvernax have accepted Draconry a bit more often than they have in previous years. Now, the idea of the coalition was something also of a more recent machination of my own mind. For I knew that none of the clans out here would want to reconstruct a nation that, at this point, has been absent for the last, what, 2.5 years? So eventually I decided that if no one within the clans were gonna find a way to bring this to what it once was, I may as well be the one to start.
Well, I can say for sure, I wasn't expecting something like that.
It's definitely something that not many do expect, as many would like to depict me as the great blood knight of the Wyvernax, as terrifying with a blade and forms of magic that a lot of people out here find definitely a bit more terrifying. And I'll admit, I definitely have had reason to have such rumors come into fruition, but I couldn't necessarily divulge my beliefs about returning this to being a nation to anyone else, as it would have meant the disbandment of all the raided clans out here to some possible form of extent, and not many like to give up their power, no matter what the reason. It would have made me weak in the eyes of the Bandlord of the Wyvernax, and so it was something that I had to keep in secret.
Well, I do have one question say we do manage to bring everybody together. What then? Who will lead, and what kind of like government we have to keep everybody safe? Or how do we know that the person leading won't be a tyrant or anything like that?
See, I'll admit, that is something I haven't quite fully thought of, as my initial goal is to have the coalition formed to the point of some renown, at the very least here in the Outlands. And then when the possible time comes to basically issue a meeting of all the bandlords at Apex, and eventually bring the proposition to them, and at that time, most of their clans would most likely have some form of an alliance with the coalition to where their power isn't necessarily as strong as it may have once been. And I'll admit, that does sound rather manipulative, but not everything out here can be won by strength. Some things can be won by time and patience and very careful planning. But I will say that the idea of having the bandlords already in agreement with the values of the coalition is more of a start and would help progress this idea a lot further. In which case, the only things that would need to be discussed at Apex is how we should truly lead our newfound nation. For I think everyone here will agree that resorting to turning this place into an empire like it once was isn't necessarily going to be the best of options for us.
Hell no. If we get formed, we'll be weak. We don't have anything going through. But that is to say that if we do this and it works out, because I want to establish something that can be secure, and I will put my hand on whatever religious figure out there. I do not hope that this place becomes becomes worse than what it already is. I will do whatever it takes to avoid that.
So, I don't know how good of an idea this necessarily is, but where I'm from, the people choose the leader. Out of those who want to try.
See, Onyx turns to you, Crystalline, and goes, "It is an interesting notion, I will admit. I take it then you are not a born and bred resident of the Outlands here, are you, ma'am?"
No, not really. I like to travel.
An adventurer of sorts.
Yeah, you could say that. Though I don't often choose where I go, if that makes any sense. I just kind of let the adventure find me.
Interesting notion. You have a curious mind. And we'll say that.
I hope that's a good thing, I suppose.
Well, it's not necessarily anything wrong, I will say that. Curious minds are something that is perhaps a bit more of an oddity out here, as most folks rely on the survivalistic instincts that have been bred into the residents here for as long as it's been deemed as the Outlands.
Well, I suppose I'm quite privileged in the sense that I haven't had to grow up surviving. I grew up in a place that... Well, there's a lot of problems where I come from too, but I grew up with a good family, a good community, lots of support, and everyone taught me a little bit of everything. And like I said, I like to travel, so I've picked up some things from everywhere else too.
Yeah, I'm curious. But I will say, the idea of having the people select a leader, that is definitely a worthy notion for the situation at hand.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, I guess.
who best knows what they need but the people in the situation? Though you might have several different groups that have different ideas of what best is. Generally, I think no matter what you go with, it is very important for whoever is leading to listen to the voices of the people. Because I assume that is what you're trying to do, is lead the people fairly. And in a way that brings everyone together and helps them thrive instead of just merely survive, like they have been doing for all these years.
Quite so. I'll admit, in some situations, 200 years is not that long of a time, but for a place as this to be ungoverned and quite harmful, to the point where neighboring nation throw their most criminal to this side, as if it were a prison settlement, is definitely some note of unjust.
Outside of character, my ADHD brain spaced and I didn't understand that.
It could be the accent.
No, I understood your words, but what? What is he trying to say? Because I didn't get it.
I don't even remember what the exact words were at 100%.
Okay, it doesn't matter. What's the point? I don't know the exact words.
Is it bad that I don't really know?
Oh god.
No, it was just a bunch of American propaganda. Okay, thank you, Lou. Thank you. We continue with
Oh my god. I actually.
That I've been sitting here and wanting
Wait,
to
hang on.
a fucking Trump joke about.
God, no.
God, that would be hilarious.
No.
Okay, wait.
No.
Okay, pause. Back into character. Sir, I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't know what that means. Do you?
Just kind of tilts his head for a moment. Just kind of looks at you and is like, "You're an interesting one. I'll give you that."
Well, I've gotta be honest. I'm not just gonna pretend to understand what you're trying to tell me if I don't.
Okay, I think 80s.
Basically, when it comes to events within history, some things shouldn't necessarily be as long as they should, and for how long the Outlands have been as they are, I believe it's been almost too long for it to be ruled ungoverned, or at the very least, ununionized and thrown into the efforts of being treated as somewhere to, at the very least, stay away from.
Well, I do agree that a lot of things could be changed and a lot of things could be bettered. I suppose how exactly that happens will be up to whoever leads and the people that it involves.
On the pen. Oh my god, out of character. That was a fucking crazy ass post crash. Oh, character. Oh. He's say. Honestly, maybe that's not half bad. But you that Ben we'll just have everybody, like you said, Onyx, meet up at Apex. We discuss things such as things that happen within the country and those main governing people. Defense of their territory, their region.
Yes, well, as of right now, yeah, I can hear you. I say in Onyx's voice. Onyx just kind of looks at you and go, well, in the meantime, we must take things in small strides if we can. And right now, my main focus is to ensure that the Lions are interested and willing to join in such endeavors. Which, at this point, I do believe I must get back to Lord Elwyn to continue on negotiations, if you do apologize, if you do mind.
Oh. Yeah. Continue. I need to get ready anyways.
Yeah, with that, Onyx just kind of nods his head, and makes his way out the door.
Now, hey, it's gonna ask Kristalina for a second. He says, Kristalina, how the hell sneak in the room? He says,
so he cut out. What'd he say? What'd you say? Could you repeat that?
Arakion, I got you. Arakion smiles, he's like, how the hell did you get into my room?
You guys know.
Are you Rogue 2.0 or something?
Okay, out of character. I snuck into his room?
No, it's a communal room. You all are in the same room, still.
Oh, so he's making a joke.
I thought that we were in private in my room. I completely did not see we were in.
Yeah, no, this was.
I thought because you had knocked in.
Yeah, no, I probably should have clarified again, but no, you guys are still in a communal room. That hasn't changed since you got to Caliona.
Damn. Well then, I guess he'll take away that. Or I'll take away this.
Or plot twist, he actually told a joke for once. Or is he gonna remain serious and boring?
Joke.
Yeah.
For joke. No, I'm in mind. Like for the first joke that he'll ever say, it'll.
Fuck, he's
good one.
cracking up so much.
Yeah.
That's it.
No, go ahead, Angel.
Sorry, yeah, my
Okay.
thing is so crackly. It said, my after joke Rakion makes, I want it to be actually funny. So I don't want to count this one.
Oh, okay. Makes
Fair.
sense.
Alright,
Yeah,
so,
Yeah.
yeah, so for this duration,
Around that.
yeah, so for this duration, Yuri, what are you kind of like doing or kind of like thinking in this moment between the conversation with Rakion, Onyx, and apparently Crystalina?
I think Yuri has just been trying to get a read on Onyx. Yuri's just kind of been silently observing, trying to understand. Because I think Yuri never truly will trust Onyx 100%, but I think Yuri's just trying to figure out if Onyx is being honest. Onyx is being honest.
Right, yeah, no shit, right? Go ahead and give me a insight check.
You got it, boss.
Crystalina was trying to read him the entire time too, so can I do that also?
Yes, you can as well.
Beautiful.
You stole my shtick.
I'm sorry.
And you roll
Yeah,
better than me.
more.
This is bullshit.
God damn. Okay. Okay, before I get into that, would anyone else like to make an insight check, just out of curiosity? For, like, that whole interaction?
For the sake of actually clicking something, yeah.
Please roll better than Wire. You have to.
I'm not gonna.
Oh my
Icarus
god.
is busy with his rolls.
Okay. Now, here we go. God damn, okay, so I guess I'm gonna be doing a whisper here for some fucking reason, and it's to Crystalina, go figure.
This episode of Fury of the Outlands sponsored by Dungeons and Dragons Beyond. Guys, use code "This is not sponsored" for a discount.
You're so funny, Carlo.
Thanks.
I have the same energy as thanks and avocado.
That's going in the next Vine compilation.
Next
Oh my god.
next trip, we're all going to Australia to bug the fuck out of this guy.
Yes.
You know what? Agreed.
Imagine me bringing my didgeridoo onto the airplane. It's big as fuck, that would never work, but imagine me doing that just to go over there and annoy him with it.
Be a TSA nightmare.
He would annoy me, and I don't think he would be able to find me.
You'll never catch me on a plane. That far.
Alright, so Wire, why don't you go ahead and look at your DMs whenever you get the chance. But with that, I think I'm actually going to call it a night here because we've been at this for like, what, hour and a half, 2 hours now?
Give or take.
So yeah, I'm going to end the session here. Thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. Players and people watching alike. Hopefully we'll get everyone in for a session on Thursday, or as many as we can. I know Angel has internet issues.
Yeah. Yeah, so now it'll probably be my last one.
Yeah, we'll see.
Decent internet.
Yeah, we'll see how everything goes. But in the meantime, we'll see you next time.
Bye bye, stream.
Bye, everyone.